displaying the glory of God's creation by visiting every state park, national park, and national forest in the contiguous 48 states. Welcome to Parking Full Time with Big Dave the Parker. First hole, 255 feet, par 3. I want to welcome you back to Parking Full Time. I am Big Dave the Parker. We are at the Gum Branch Disc Golf Course at Howard Peeples Park. We are in southeast Georgia. We're a few miles east of Interstate 95 Exit 3 for Kingsland, Georgia. This course plays through an old forestry planting, as you can see by the row and column configuration of the trees. There's the first basket and the view back to the tee. Hole number 2, 261 feet. Par 3. Most of the holes on this course have two tee pads, a long pad and a short pad. I started all of these video clips and also all of the distances I'm giving you are from the long tee pad. Also, most holes have two basket positions, a left position and a right position. In this video, the basket here for the second hole is in the right position. And if there's a significant difference between the two positions, I'll tell you which position the basket is in for that video clip. There's a drainage canal right behind the basket. There's the view back to the tee. Third hole, 436 feet, par 3. This hole seems kind of long to be a par 3 to me, but that's what it is according to the tee sign. Also, there is Gum Branch, which is basically a drainage canal off to the right here. That's the forward tee pad right there. The drainage canal is out of bounds, and if you throw it down there, it might be kind of hard to retrieve your disc if you accidentally miss to the right here. This is a really narrow hole and a really long hole to be a par 3, in my opinion. I'd prefer this hole as a par 4. The basket is off to the left here, just into the woods, and behind and around a couple of dirt mounds. There's the third basket. The fourth hole continues along the drainage canal the same direction the third hole played. It is 500 feet, and it is a par 3, according to the tee sign. Again, this hole seems really long and really narrow with the Gum Branch drainage canal off to the right to be a par 3. There's the short tee right there. These two holes are the only two holes that play along Gum Branch. And honestly, even though maybe they're not my favorite holes on this course, they do make kind of a nice change of pace from the usual heavily treed area that comprises most of the rest of this course. See the sign here pointing towards the basket on the left. The basket here is up on top of a mound, unlike between the mounds on the previous hole. The mound makes putting more interesting. There's the fourth basket. The fifth hole plays back into the forest and away from Gum Branch. It is 379 feet. It is a par 3. And even though it's a heavily forested area, there is a well-defined line of play through the row and column configurations of the old forestry planting here. The way this hole is configured, that line of play would encourage a right-to-left disc flight. It's a fairly narrow fairway, but very little understory here to crowd the fairway. There's the fifth basket up ahead. Fifth basket's in a very open area. Beautiful forest and beautiful trees here. There's the view back to the tee from behind the fifth basket. The sixth hole is 302 feet. It's a par 3. And it's a very tight hole, but also a fairly straight hole. You can actually see the basket up ahead here in the distance. There isn't really any obstacle between the tee and the basket on this hole, but it is rather tight. That is dense woods with the palmettos in the understory here. basket up ahead. Really beautiful forest land setting here. There's the view back to the tee from behind the 6th basket. 7th hole is one of the shortest holes on this course. It's 256 feet. It's a par 3. There are 2 tees, a left tee and a right tee, and 2 basket positions, a left position and a right position. This video clip goes from the left tee to the left basket. If the basket were in the right position, then this would be a much harder hole. You'd have to thread your way through the island of trees that are off to the right here. That's a bike path off to the left, by the way. That doesn't really come into play on this hole, but it will later, on some later holes. To get to the 8th tee, you have to turn left on the bike path and walk a few hundred feet along the bike path up here to the 8th tee, which goes off to the left. 8th hole is 354 feet. It's a par 3. There are a couple of ways you could play this hole. I would probably choose a left to right disc flight and go through the wider opening that I'm walking through right here. There's also a more narrow opening to the right of the pine trees and palmettos that you see off to the right here. There are a couple of different baskets in the area that we're going to right here. The 9th basket is like 50 feet to the right of here, but the 8th basket is the one that is directly straight ahead here. Interesting hole, like threading my way through the trees here and shaping your disc to get around the trees. 9th and final hole on the front 9 is 326 feet. It's a par 3. More dense trees in the planting here to deal with. Other than that, this is a very flat hole, and this is a very flat course. There's almost no elevation change anywhere on this course. Need a little bit of left to right disc flight here to get close to the basket in one throw. Honestly, not one of the more exciting holes on this course. Since this is the last hole in the front 9, I do want to thank you for watching. Parking full-time would not be anything without the people who watch. I realize that every day, and I thank you every day. There's the 9th basket there. The trail to the 10th tee goes into the woods off to the left. There's the view back to the tee. And I will see you on the back 9.